Unit G, Excel 2010. On page 146, Navigating a Workbook. Please read the paragraph under the title Navigating a Workbook that starts, "Every new Excel workbook contains." Once you've finished reading the paragraph, continue with this tutorial. Number 1. Click the Start button on the taskbar. Then click All Programs. Click Microsoft Office. You may need to scroll down determining the settings or applications you've installed on your computer. So here we are, Microsoft Office. And then click Microsoft Excel 2010. Look at the view of the worksheet. Notice how it's divided by lines. These lines are known as cells, and these cells are made up of columns and rows. A column is the vertical distance, and the row is the horizontal distance. So there are as many columns as you like, but preferably to max out the number of columns is usually all the way through the American alphabet in this example. So we have column A, column B, column C, D, E, F, G, all the way up through X, Y, and Z. And then your rows are set in numbers. And then the numbers actually go on infinitely. So to find a cell, we would say, well, I want to locate maybe E5. So we would start an E, and it lets us know that E's highlighted, and that we're currently in 1, and I want to locate E5. So I use the arrow keys by going down to E5. For this example, we're going to click on cell C1. Now that C1 is located or listed, notice there are two pieces for each cell. First, there is the name box. This defines the name of the cell. This can be renamed later, but for right now we're going to keep it as cell C1. And then we have our functions box, or our formula bar. This again as well will be used later on, not right now. Next, use the arrow keys on your keyboard and press right once, then press down once, and then press the tab key. The tab key is located next to the Q and the 1 on the left side of your keyboard. If you hold down the Shift key, which is next to the Z key below the tab key, and then press the tab key, so Shift plus tab, your cell moves back one space. The area you have selected moves back one space. Next, we're going to change tabs or sheets. So if we take our mouse and move it all the way down to the bottom of the page, you notice that we're in sheet 1 right now. In Excel, you may need to use multiple documents or multiple areas to write different information, and you don't always want to see both of them at the same time. So we click on sheet 2. Now we're in sheet 2. Next, we're going to select what is known as a cell range. A cell range is a set of cells. So not just one cell, but usually 2 or more. For this example, we're going to select cells A to cell C. This is often noted as A1 to C5. And the colon in between defines that you want to select everything in between A1 and C5. Not just A1 and C5, but everything in between. So we select A1, and there are multiple ways of doing this. The first way I'm going to show you is if you move the mouse over and it stays on the plus side, you hold down the left mouse button, and then you drag over to cell C5. So let's drag to the right. We now have C, and then we drag down to C5. And this is again called the cell range from A1 to C5. Another way of doing this is to hold down or click on A1 and then find C5, hold the shift key and tap with the left mouse button once, and it will do the same thing. The third option is to hold down the shift key while you're in cell A1 and then use the arrow keys to move right twice and then down 5 times while still holding the shift key. Then you can release the shift key once you've selected all the cells that has been asked of you. Next, we're going to do the same thing with D8 to D14. So we use our mouse or our keys and we locate D8 and they want us to select down to D14. So my way to do it is to hold down the shift and then left click the mouse button. Again, you can also hold down the left mouse button and just drag down to D14, or you can hold down the shift key and use the arrow keys until you're down to D14. To confirm that you're in D14, the row will be lit up and the column will be lit up. Now let's go back to sheet 1. For this example, I'm going to scroll all the way down into a random number, say like 152 of I, and let's say that we have our information up on the top of the screen. Rather than having to scroll all the way up to the top of the screen, you can actually press the Control key and the Home key on the keyboard. The Control key is located in the bottom left part of your keyboard, and the Home key is above the arrow keys, right above End and between Insert and Page Up. So if we press Control plus the Home key, it'll send us all the way back to cell A1. Now, save it. Again, there are 3 ways to do this. First, you can click the Save shortcut up in the quick shortcuts up here, or you can hold down the buttons Control plus S, which will save as well. And finally, you can click Save here in the File tab. So, just as the book asks, save the file on your thumb drive or the area you're saving your documents. For me, I'm going to use the desktop as an example. And we name the file gkite sales forecast and save. That ends navigating a workbook.